Hello and welcome to my channel, and welcome back if you're returning. Now my name is Candy, and today I thought I would do the Booktube newbie tag because I am brand shiny new on Booktube at least, and it's exciting, so why not do this tag just to say hi to you all, especially if this is your first time on my channel. So we're going to do the 11 questions and we're going to see how this goes. So question number 1 is, why did you start this channel? Oh my gosh, there's loads of reasons why I started this channel. I think the main one is the fact that I rediscovered reading last year. And in a way, that meant I discovered for the first time that I'd kind of lost reading and hadn't really realised it. I'd been reading non-fiction books, just a few a year, but I'd forgotten about fiction, and that can happen. You can just forget you're a reader. And looking back, it seems like I kind of was without reading for 2 decades, I would say. The thing that made me rediscover reading was last November. There is a fantastic tag called GothLitNovember that is hosted by Rachel over at Second Thoughts About the Mission, and also Bailey Jean, 2 fantastic channels which I'll link. And it saw me last November picking up books for the first time, like this one, The Picture of Dorian Gray. I read for the first time Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I reread Jane Eyre. This was a second rereading of Jane Eyre. I read it for the 4th time, Wuthering Heights, but I hadn't reread it for 30 years, and it made me remember. I think Wuthering Heights was a book that just made me remember that I'm a reader. So with that remembrance came this unbelievable urge to start reading again, and I wanted a place to talk about that reading, hence this channel. I discovered Booktube then, and all of the marvellous channels that are out there, and I was trying to upload book content onto my other channel where I talk about my spiritual path and my magic garden and tarot, but it just didn't seem like the amount of stuff I wanted to talk about with books would fit on that channel. The odd book video here and there, absolutely fine, but I wanted to do more than the odd video. I'm also putting together literature self-study, a DIY literature degree. I wanted to do ongoing videos about that as well. That's a lot of book content. So I just decided to bite the bullet and just to start a Booktube channel and to fall down the literary rabbit hole. And that's my invitation to you guys, to come with me and to fall down that great literary rabbit hole. So question number 2 is, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to Booktube? Gosh, well, I am a trained artist. That's what my actual degree was in. I make journals. This is one of my tarot journals where I explore aspects in artwork. These are very much art-based ways of journaling, which I just love. You can see this is exploring different things to do with the tarot, but I intend to do something similar for my reading. So I think reading journals, and I was thinking about doing, in fact I am going to do it, a reading journal July, and do a reading journal tag for the whole of July, which I thought would be fantastic, because I am finding now ways of bringing my journaling practice into my literature self-study, or not even into study, just into my enjoyment of books. Just like I've always explored things, I've always explored different aspects of my passions in this way. So that's something unique that I can bring to Booktube. Also, I found through studying Shakespeare sonnets this month, I started studying the sonnets. I was coming up and devising, just naturally, it was just popping into my head, sort of tarot spreads or oracle questions around that study. So there might be an overlap where I bring some form of tarot practice into it. I am also a collector. I collect dolls, I collect snow globes. I've always been a lifelong collector. I can bring eclectic collections to my reading journey, which you might be able to join in with. I've got the idea for a brilliant tag for that, so I'll be bringing tags. I've also got my DIY literature degree. I want to bring that. I think that's something a bit more unusual for Booktube. And I also love taking my reading out and letting that inspire adventures. So I've already got a tag going with my Booktube bestie Julie over at Bookish Travels. We've already started doing a reading adventure series, which I'll link below. The first 2 adventures were on my other channel when I was uploading on my other channel, but from now on they'll be happening here. So adventure, art, journaling, tarot, crossovers, collections, all sorts of things that I hope I can bring to Booktube. So question number 3, what are you most excited about from this new channel? Well, to be honest, I think I've already achieved the thing that I'm most excited about. Uploading bookish videos stress-free. It's just been wonderful. Even if there's only a handful of people watching at the start of a brand new channel, I'm not interested in any of that. I'm not interested in numbers, whether that's book reading numbers or subscribers. It's just a place for me to interact with the people who are here for bookish content, whether that be 2 of you, 5 of you, 10 of you, or 100 of you, whatever it is. I find that uploading on my other channel, every time I uploaded, I got all angsty. I'm a born people pleaser, to be honest. I just want people, if they're spending the time on my channel, or they've subscribed and they've subscribed to a set content, I want to deliver that content. I want people to arrive at my channel and to love spending time at it, to get something out of it, to just enjoy building that community. And I felt like bombarding my other channel with book content, I was kind of not doing that. People hadn't subscribed over there for book content, so I got really angsty and really torn between the ideas of, it's my channel, I should just make what lights me up, and then also on the other hand thinking, yeah, but people aren't here for this. So I just wanted somewhere without the stress. If you're here, there's no confusion. There's no confusion for me, there's no confusion for you. This is a mainly Booktube channel. There might be the odd crossover that makes sense, but it will all make sense. So I think just getting rid of the angst was just brilliant. And of course, along with that, there's the building of a new community. I love that community aspect on YouTube in all my spaces. I love the people that interact. I love the comments. I love the feedback. I love the friendships that can really form in this sort of environment. And I have to say, I've been really lucky. The people that come into my comment section are just such a lovely lot, and a few of them have come over from my other channel with me, and you guys know who you are. You just lights my soul on fire. So community building as well, just love that. Okay, I said love a lot of times in that sentence, and look, I've got tears in my eyes. I am such a crybaby, honestly. Right, no crying in this video, even if I am talking about you lot. Okay, there's another love in the next question. I am sponsored by the word love. Right, question 4. Why do you love reading? Do you know what? It's freedom for me. It's reclamation. It's reclaiming my soul. I said that I felt like I'd lost my reading for 2 decades. I am a warrior survivor of DA and horrendous time fighting my way out of that. Within that, I was financially controlled, time controlled, kept exhausted, told that anything I wanted or liked was unimportant and not available to me. Within that time, I also had my 3 beautiful babies who I now solo parent. One of my babies has a disability, so there was a lot of no sleep as well, along with that horrendous other situation. So an exhausted, stomped down woman doesn't get much time to pursue reading. In fact, the thing that got me back into reading was recovery books, believe it or not. I have a whole shelf of recovery books, which really got me into reading, but on a non-fiction basis. And then stepping into sort of paganism. My garden was a massive healing journey for me. Connecting with the earth led me down that paganism route as well. So I've got a lot of spiritual books as well. I'm a trained artist. I've got a lot of art books. I reclaimed my art because I was never given money for resources for my art. Any space for my art was denied. So I now have an art studio. So my garden was reclaimed. My art studio was reclaimed, and now my reading has been reclaimed as well, after a 2-decade barren wasteland of no passions being allowed. So it's freedom for me. Reading represents soul reclamation and freedom, and knowing my own boundaries and feeling healed at last. It is very, very special to me. And I said no crying in this video. Goodness me, it is very special to me, as you can tell. Okay, no more crying. Come on, Candy. Right, number 5. What book or series got you into reading? Oh my gosh, we're going all the way back, getting on for 60 years. We're heading towards 60. But anyway, I have bought up some books that I rediscovered. Oh gosh, I've kind of been reclaiming all of my life, all the way back to childhood, and that has been, oh my gosh, let me grab this toy. Not only buying and tracking down my old childhood toys, this is Blue Boy, oh my gosh, but also reclaiming my old childhood books. It's a real journey of reclamation. One of the books that just got into my soul as a very young girl, I was never read to, so I can't remember any book time when I was read to. So all these books after I learnt to read. This book, Heidi, and this was the copy of the book that I actually had as a little girl. I can just remember reading this book and just being blown away by the story, and her bedroom with the little skylight that she would look out of over the hillside. That bedroom and that skylight, I don't know what it is about that. There's something about me with buildings and houses and settings. It means a lot to me, settings. But there was something about that bedroom setting in the mountain house that just pulled me in and never ever left my soul. And to track down this actual book was really special to me. So this was a standalone book, probably even before Heidi. It would have been these Ladybird books, which just the pictures transport me back to being like a 5-6-year-old again. So these Ladybird books, and also puffin books as well. Do you remember the different coloured puffin books? I loved the puffin books. But these I've started refinding as well. And Aesop's Fables. I had a big golden book of Aesop's Fables which I adored. I don't know what happened to it, but I've since tried to track that down, and it's hundreds of pounds to rebuy, so that one isn't happening anytime soon. But these Ladybird books, I adored these books as a little girl. Just all the covers take me right back. So I'm slowly finding them for like a couple of pound here and a couple of pound there, and just loving refinding them. And I would say my key author that got me into reading is Enid Blyton. I was a real Enid Blyton girl, so the Wishing Chair collection, the Enchanted Wood as well, which I then went on to read to my own kids and also to my year one classes, because I was a primary school teacher before I had to give up my job to care for my daughter. So Enid Blyton, amazing. And the key series of my childhood, which I also tracked down, the whole series in the original covers, were the famous 5 for me. I could have bought these in the modern covers, but I just wanted this series in this edition, because these were the covers that I remember as a child. And the first year of being divorced and free, finally, I tracked down this entire collection being sold as one collection on eBay, and I bought it for myself as my Christmas present for that year. And when it came out, to say I cried over the box is a complete understatement. Just to revisit all of these covers again, oh my gosh. George was my childhood hero. All of these books, I know I said that Heidi kind of there's something about houses and homes for me. I think it was this book, 5 on a Treasure Island, which is my all-time favourite famous 5 book. There is a chapter in here where Anne sets up their little cave that they make home, and she uses all the alcoves in the cave wall to like put things in, and she lays everything out, the real homemaker of the group, as opposed to George, who was the tomboy. But that chapter of Anne setting up the cave in this book, when they very first visit Kiran Island, of all my reading, I think it is that chapter that's stayed with me more than any other book. It made me want to create nests for anybody that I'm around, and to create sort of environments, miniature environments. I'm sure that's where my love of dolls' houses has come from. And now anywhere where I see like a house described, or a building, or something that you're turning into a den, it just fills me with fascination and joy. So those were my key series of books. I love them so much. That got me into reading. Okay, question number 6. What questions would you ask your favourite booktubers? Oh my gosh. Well, I've already asked Julie at Bookish Travels to be my friend. I was very bold and said, be my friend and let's do some book adventures, and she said yes, so that was lovely. So I think just come and be my friend. I would love that. Come and say hi and come and have an adventure over here. Also, if you look a few videos back, I've got a video that links booktubers that have done literature degrees, because I'm trying to put together a body of self-study. Booktuber that's done a literature degree, to please share your books, book lists if you haven't already, for us trying to do self-study. And more importantly, and I think I already asked this to Ben McAvoy in a comment, is could you please do a video where you give essay titles, like what projects were you set, what sort of questions were you asked to complete in essays. I'd love an essay list title from a few booktubers. And then going back to my passion for interiors and homes and books and stories and homes, I would be very stalkerish and say to booktubers, I love you, I love your channel, I love your book collections. Not only show me your bookcases and your book collections, but could I please have a house tour? There's something about YouTubers doing like room and house tours that I adore. I've done a few room tours on my tarot channel, and they're my favourite videos. I love snapshots into people's houses. We're back to being Anne making the nest in the cave on Kiran Island. So yeah, a bit stalkerish, I know, but in a good way. Question 7. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? definitely the consumerism aspect for me. Over time I've done a doll channel, I have done a tarot channel, now a book channel. Each time I've worked on a channel, it just makes me want to buy stuff. It just does. There's no two ways about it. Tarot, it's decks, oracle decks and tarot decks. With my dolls, I've actually stopped creating content over on my doll channel because I'd kind of learnt how to resist decks, but I cannot resist a doll. I just couldn't look at other doll content and not want and buy the doll. So DollTube is incredibly dangerous for me financially, and I know it'll be the same with books because I am very enthusiastic. I want to do everything, I want to read everything, and yeah, I've already started using my library as a way to counteract and counterbalance that. So we'll be bringing library visits and library hauls as well to the channel, instead of just thinking I've got to buy everything. Like, when did you start reading is question number 8. As a little girl, as you do through school with the books that I've shown you. Then there had been periods, like I said, where I've stopped and started reading again, and now the end of last year it's a restart for me, completely back into reading. So hopefully it's going to be sunny days now moving forward. So where do you read? I read everywhere. I read in the car waiting for the kids to come out of school. I have a 3-hour school run at the moment a day because I've got 3 kids in 3 different school settings, and some of that time is sat waiting in the car, so I will always take a book in the car with me. I read in bed, although I do have a tendency to fall asleep. I read downstairs, I read in my garden. I'm going to bring garden settings for reading to you as well, guys, on this channel. And I also, for possibly only 1 more year because it's getting too expensive for me to keep, but I also have for the last 12 years had a caravan in Wales by the ocean, and I have a reading chair on the balcony. So Adventures by the Ocean will be continuing on the channel for as long as I can hold on to that caravan. Question number 10, what kind of books do you like to read? I am rediscovering an absolute passion for the classics. My DIY literature degree at the moment, I am reading Victorian literature. So at the moment I am loving Dickens, the Brontes. I've just read last month 2 Wilkie Collins books. I read Bram Stoker for the first time. So exploring the classics I love. I am exploring Shakespeare and loving that as well. I live in Shakespeare country, so I will also be bringing you reading vlogs like in Shakespeare's garden at his birthplace at Anne Hathaway's cottage, which I drive past 4 times a day on the school run. That's how close and interwoven my reading life is with Shakespeare. But I also love fantasy fiction. I love Six of Crows, those books. I love the Lunar Chronicles. That is one of my favourite series of all time. I love witchy books as well that link to my pagan path, non-fiction and fiction, and me and Julie have a Witchlit Anytime tag going, which we're going to start making videos for soon. I love literary fiction. I am about 1/3 of the way at the minute through Annie Smith's Spring. Basically I'll read anything. I love kids fiction, I love young adult, I love middle grade fiction, I love picture books because there's the art link. If you can think of it, I'll probably read it. Areas that I haven't read yet, which I want to explore more, are gothic horror. I did Fanguary in February as part of my reading challenge, where I tried reading vampire fiction for the first time, but thinking it wouldn't be for me, and I loved it. I loved Bram Stoker's Dracula, so I might try pushing more into sort of the gothic horror. I've been collecting some Stephen King books to give those a go. I also want to try more mystery and historical fiction as well. Do you know, I've never read a historical fiction book ever, so I might try a historical fiction book as well. Okay, question number 11 is, what does your book collection look like? And I want to show you, I want to take you around my bookcases, but this video is already nearly 25 minutes long. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to come back to do question 11 in a part 2, I think, otherwise this video is just going to be too long. So that's part 1 of the Booktube newbie tag. I'm going to upload part 2 next. So guys, thank you so much for being here and for listening. If you like the sound of all of that, like and subscribe, do all the normal YouTubey stuff. I'd love you to join this new community here. It'd be so great and so much fun to have you along. So I'll see you next time. Thanks guys, bye.